commend them and to also encourage them. Being a child myself of situations that my family faced when I was younger, so I am a product of a parent, a mom, who was determined to create an environment for us that always felt like we were on an adventure, but though to everyone else may have seemed like an unfortunate situation. I never felt like an unfortunate child. I never felt like we were about an unfortunate life. My mom smiled, she laughed, and she made every situation that we had to go through something that was exciting. Regardless, now being a mom myself, I don't know how she did that with a smile every day. But I do recall seeing her pray every single morning and every single night. And she woke up yet to another day, and to encourage us all, my siblings and I, that there was always going to be better on the other side. Because of her love and her heart, I never saw myself as less than. And from noticing the moms and women that are here tonight being celebrated, I can see that they have the heart that my mother also had at the time when we were faced with struggles. So again, I have had time at the shelter. They probably will kick me out or give me a key. I have spent time with the children, and the hugs and the smiles and the embrace is something that I am still having a difficult time in putting into words. They wanted to be loved and seen. They wanted to be touched, even if they were holding on to my little finger or grabbing to my legs. And I made sure that I took time to look at everyone, every child in their eyes, just as when I was little, being seen and being smiled at meant the world to me. And so the shelter is something that has a dear place in my heart. When I had the opportunity to meet with Sandy, our meeting for the first time was supposed to be 30 minutes. It turned out to be 4 hours. And she gave me an amazing tour of the facility. And as I walked through, I watched her closely. She has a heart of gold. She thinks of every single thing possible that a child could need, and she makes sure that those things are provided for them on a daily basis. What got me is when she continued to express that she also considers every single need that the mom and dad may have as well. And that got me because when you hear Atlanta Children's Shelter, you're thinking of the children only, but Sandy and Barry are thinking of the entire family. And we walked through just about every room in that shelter. There was a room for supplies where partners and donations and people with hearts of gold, such as yourself, to take the time out of your life to be here, to celebrate these people who are on a tremendous journey. They donate their time, funds. They also donate goods, because so many things that we take for granted on a daily basis that we have and so quickly throw away are things that these moms and dads are desperately in need of. Many times they shy away from stepping forward into opportunities that may be readily awaiting them for things as simple as not having deodorant, not being confident enough with their hygiene, not being confident enough with their clothing to step forward. So it's not a matter when we see some people that they don't lack drive, but sometimes we need to halt on our judgment and wonder what could be that simple thing that may be preventing them from taking this simple step to us what seems simple. What could that be? Could that be a toothbrush and toothpaste? And they're scared to speak to someone in an interview. Or they're afraid to approach someone to ask for help because they don't want to be ridiculed or made fun of. Or is it that their heart is so full that they know that they can't provide for their children? and they can't tolerate, deal with, or stand with another no, another moment of humiliation, or another moment of someone looking at them like they are less than. This is an opportunity in our lives as we're so busy on a daily basis going about our dreams, our goals, our careers, our families, that there are so many families that are desperately in need. And there are so many people, such as yourself, that have the heart and concern to come to be a part of something that can make someone else's life better, especially a child who's not able to even identify really, or to compare their situation versus another. Another thing that I found to be remarkable at the shelter is the environment that was created for the children, the teachers, to see their smiles, to see how they embrace the children, and to see how they take time with every one of them based on their special needs. There's attention to psychology, there's attention to their medical needs, there's attention to dentistry, there's attention to laundry. Now, you may not think about it, but when you don't have a home, how do you wash your clothes? How do you go for an interview when your clothes isn't presentable? How do you go and approach asking for help when you're self-conscious about the way you may look, the way you may smell, and the way that you may be perceived? They consider that as well, because I went into another room and I saw that they had a washer and dryer. And at that moment I was like, wow, you don't think of all this stuff. And so they allow them to bring the things that they need to be laundered, and they take care of that for them. There's a closet that's full with things to provide to them so that they don't have to feel ashamed. It's done in such a discreet way, because it's all about building them to know that regardless of your current situation, it does not define your future or who you're going to be, who your children will be, and where you're going to end up in life. And I will tell you personally, whatever that big, dramatic, and hard to reach dream may be in your life, as an achiever, you go 100%. It may not make sense to yourself right now, it may not make sense to someone else in your family or friends, but you hold on to that dream and you be determined. And you pass on that dream to your little one, and you let them know that all things are possible, regardless of what we face today. And so, it's such a privilege to be here. And when this opportunity came about, and Sandy and I spoke of it, and I realized how it's such a blessing to pay it forward. It's such a blessing to be able to encourage the mom. As I said, like now I am a mom. And a child who's gone through similar situations like your children face today. So I encourage you, because I am standing here today proudly and grateful to my mom and my dad for having the heart that they had to strive on and to encourage me so that I could be here today. Well, our paths cross, and we will be crossed as long as possible. And I will try to do as much as I can, because this is what feels right. And again, a couple months ago, some other stars aligned within the Atlanta Children's Shelter. And if you believe in God, He created this opportunity. Or if you believe in the stars, the moons, planets, whatever it may be. But it all came into alignment at the shelter when Grammy Award-winning producer Ryan Bowser was invited to the shelter to share his story with everyone at the shelter. And during his presentation, Ryan went around the room and asked each person what they wanted to do with their life. And as he went around the room, there was someone that said she wanted to pursue a music career, and that's what brought her here to Atlanta in the first place. Her name is Brooke. And during this time when she was expressing her heartfelt desire and dream, Ryan's heart was touched. And he knew that this was someone that was on a path to accomplishing her dream. And if there was any way that he could help, he was going to do it. And so he did. So there's something about expressing your dream. So even though she was at the shelter, she still was willing to share this big dream and to boldly share it. And her boldness and determination opened a door of opportunity for her. And now we're going to see a short video introducing you to Brooke and her story, her amazing story. And we're about to witness what happens when the forces align, or when God's angels align, or when whatever aligns to make it good. When two great powers come together for an elaborate and magnificent collaboration.